What the fuck is up, New York?
Go close, fat beats.
Oh shit.
Keep it open.
I feel like I just showered. Damn. Fuck. Alright, so I'm gonna say a little speech and shit. You know, you guys know me for talking and shit. While I'm talking, I would appreciate it if you guys pass around these little booklets I got in here. I need everybody here at Fat Beats to have one. And when I'm finished, I want to take a picture of you guys holding them up. Is that cool? New York? Yeah. Yo, my fucking record's all wet and shit. And sweat. God damn. Alright, man, so check it out, man. Obviously, all of us know, I appreciate you guys passing the booklets out, by the way. Thank you. Well, you guys know why we're here. I got about, I don't know, 15 or so minutes left, so I'm gonna try to make this quick, but this needs to be said. So, obviously, you know, we're here to pay respects to a landmark, not just a hip-hop landmark, but for me, a New York landmark, Fat Beats Records store, right?
Yup. Yeah.
And I just want to give you guys perspective on what's going on right now. You know, some of you might be new to Fat Beats. Others may have been around when they were on 8th Street, like on St. Mark's, between like, I think it was 1st Avenue and 2nd. Joe Abajian, the CEO of Fat Beats Distribution, the one who founded the store, made it possible for young kids like myself to go somewhere and meet DJs, record shop, converse about, you know, music, scratching. I remember he was Joe was the only guy that actually was considerate enough to actually set up 2 turntables for DJs to come in and spin and rock and cut it up and basically perform for whoever was there. And that's how I got my start, you know. That's how I got my introduction to New York City hip-hop DJing, the whole community. You know, at the time I was what, 18, 19 years old, and no one was really checking for me like that. But Fat Beats was a place where I could go and cut it up for whoever was there, and then they go home and talk to their boys. Yo, I saw this kid, you know, Rob Swift, he was cutting it up, you know, and I kind of basically was able to make a name for myself just at the store. Myself, Rock Raider, God Bless the Dead. Yeah. Right? Mr. Sinister, we used to go up in there and just tear it up for hours. You know, at the time I was in college, I was going to Baruch College, and I'd bring my records to school, and then right after my last class, I'd jet over to Fat Beats, cut it up, you know, and then go home and fucking write a 30-page research paper or some shit like that. You know, but for the most part, the store was pivotal for me, for my career. I brought a little memorabilia I want to share with you guys here. As I was saying, you know, I was in school, I was in college, and I was kind of at a crossroads in my life. And what I mean by me being at a crossroads was I wasn't sure, as my, you know, classes were starting to wrap up, as I was approaching, you know, graduation and getting that degree. I wasn't sure if I was going to actually pursue my major, which was psychology, or if I was going to give it my all at this DJing shit. You know, I was kind of like in the middle, on the fence, not knowing what to do. And my last semester of school, myself, Rock Raider, Mr. Sinister, put out, well, we recorded like an EPK almost, like basically a 30-minute documentary on the X-Men, right? And we did it with a good friend of mine, John Coluccio, who directed the movie Battle Sounds. I'm not sure if you guys know about the movie, but it's a sick movie. And it's the first hip-hop DJ documentary ever made, before Scratch. Battle Sounds was the first one. So John basically came together with us, and he edited a 30-minute movie using 2 VCRs, right? And then we gave it to Joe, who at the time, you know, was running the store pretty much by himself. And we were like, Joe, would you put this out for us? And this is the tape right here. I actually have it. Right? This is the tape. I actually dug through all my fucking DVDs and VCRs and fucking Betamaxes to find this shit, but I found it and I put it aside, and I knew I was gonna bring it to this in-store. I'm sure a lot of you guys read my rant on Twitter, and then I wrote like a little commentary on how I felt about the store closing. But the reason I brought this videotape in is because on some real shit, real talk right now, that literally the day after I graduated college, literally, I got a check, my first royalty check, for like $500, right? And it was for this videotape. And I saw the check, and that's when I decided I accomplished what I wanted to with regards to school, getting my degree, you know, framing it, giving it to my parents so that they don't have to bug me anymore about school, right? And I was like, now I'm gonna devote myself 100% to my music, to my DJing.
Yeah.
And I felt like that check, that $500 check that Joe gave me, right, for me was like symbolic that I had the potential to make money off this, and I didn't have to just be cool or settle for DJing at his store, that I could go worldwide with this, you know. And Fat Beats helped me understand that, man. So when I got the news that the store was closing, it really hit me hard, because without Fat Beats, I'm not sure where I would be right now. If it wasn't for that check that I got the day after I graduated Baruch College, I probably would be having my own practice right now, you know, and you guys probably wouldn't even see me right here. So, you know, it's really deep to me, man, that the store's closing. Unfortunately, it's a sign of the times, and we gotta realize, man, that to a degree, all of us in this room have to take some sort of responsibility for this happening. You know what I mean? In the last couple of years, I would come to the store, visit Eclipse, and it'd be empty in here. You know what I mean? No one was here buying records, buying music. And a lot of people like to blame Serato or CDJs or whatever the case, but I'm of the opinion that it's easy to blame something that like doesn't have any kind of feeling or isn't alive and just point the finger over there, you know? But it's harder to look at yourself and be like, yo, when was the last time I actually went to the store and bought a record or bought a CD? You know what I mean? Nowadays, people are, with technology, it's made us so lazy that we don't want to like leave our homes. Everything we want to do is from the house. We want to watch Ustream. We don't want to go to the clubs anymore and see DJs rock live. We don't want to go to the record shops and support. So as I wrap this up, I want to ask you guys, man, tonight, please, 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 please buy something before you leave. Actually, my box. What's some Dave, thank you very much. I'll get some. Darryl, if you could walk this to the back to E. Tell them I'm gonna. Yo, I got the CDs, the Architect album. So for those that don't have it, buy that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want that, it's all good. Buy a record off one of the shelves. Buy a magazine. Buy a T-shirt as your way of remembering the store. Buy something. You know what I mean? Buy something, man.